Some of you may or may not know exactly what it is that you're seeing on your screen, but this is a situation where there was an inmate, as you can see by the color of his skin, this is definitely a black man, who was assaulted by the guards and security inside of his jail. This is something that is so common that rarely gets talked about, and that is how a lot of these black inmates get mistreated by these prison guards and these security guards, and a lot of them happen to be PC a lot of the times. Not saying that other groups don't do it, but a lot of this happens more often than not. And the thing is, the inmate is in a very bad position because they're just one person, and a lot of these guards basically do what almost looks like a gang initiation, like they're literally jumping this person. Now, this is just one guard that you see in the picture, but I've seen images where there were multiple guards, like literally messing with this one guy. This guy, for all we know, was minding his own business, and maybe he didn't do something that they wanted him to do, and they felt he was being insubordinate, and they just started to attack him. So this is just one image right here, but there's plenty more out there where there were more guards than just this one that you see. But I'm gonna read this article that's coming from news.com. It says an attorney in Georgia are calling for a criminal investigation after video showed police officers attack a black man. Lawyers for the victim released the footage of the incident inside a Camden County, Georgia jail. The video showed a man in a small cell as police ran in and started to grab him. They pinned him against the wall, and then one of the officials starts punching the victim in the back of the neck. The other cops then join in and start hitting the victim and grabbing his arms. There were several police officers trying to control the subject when the attack started. Officers then took the suspect out of the cell and threw him against the wall, where they continued to hit him and knee him as he was on the ground. The inmate was identified as 41-year-old Jarrett Hobbs. This video is undeniable and the deputy's actions are inexcusable, says civil rights attorney Harry Daniels, who represents Hobbs. Mr. Hobbs entered the Camden County Jail suffering a psychological episode and asking to be placed in a protective confinement, but instead of protecting him, these deputies, or these terrorists, jumped him and beat and kicked him mercilessly like a gang of dangerous thugs, which ironically I said it looked like it was a gang initiation. Lawyers said Hobbs was denied medical treatment in the September episode. So this happened back in September. This did not happen this week or last week or anytime this month or anytime last month in October. This happened back in September, and we're just now learning about it. He was in jail on several nonviolent offenses and was being held in protective confinement due to a psychological episode. This wasn't some arrest that got out of hand or a judgment call made out of fear for your life, Daniels explained. This was targeted gang violence, pure and simple. It just so happens that the gang members were wearing badges and were calling on the district attorney to bring charges immediately. Now you see this image right here, and this is coming off the Dr. Rashad Rishi page. I found it on Google. But look at this image right here. This is the one that I saw floating around before, the one that you saw that just had the one guard. Look at this. It is, I count 4 of them right here. And look at this one right here, who I believe was the one from the first picture y'all saw. And from the article I just read, he got his hand around this man's throat. And literally, like they're holding him there. And this is just an image right here. There's video that goes along with it that I'm not going to play on here, where they're actually showing this guy literally being beaten 4 versus 1. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a fantasy for them. I swear, a lot of people love putting their hands on black people in a violent way because it's a fantasy for them. You know, back then, there was a time when PC could put their hands on black people and nothing would happen to them. And they would dare a black person to even not flinch, but to buck back at them, even if not to swing on them. It was a wrap. This behavior right here is exactly what they want to go back to. If they could go back to that in a snap of a finger, they will all be raising their hands and snapping them fingers with the swiftness. Because that's what they want to get back to. That's what, so badly, that's what they want. So bad. I hope that this man gets, first off, all 4 of the, well, not if it's more than them, but the 4 that I see right here, all of them need to be fired indefinitely. And I mean fired, not say, oh, we're going to fire you and transfer you somewhere. No, fire you. Make sure you can't get any type of employment at any other facility. First off, you can't even be a cop anymore. If it's up to me, you can't even get employed anymore. We are blackballing your ass. We are stripping you of everything. Lawsuits all the way around. There needs to be a group lawsuit, and there needs to be individual lawsuits, and there needs to be a lawsuit against the jail and the facility that he was held in, because they're just as responsible. They hired them. And if this guy has to continue serving out a sentence, he needs to be transferred to another facility where he actually does have the protection that he's supposed to have. In my honest opinion, this was a very intensely targeted attack. Like, look at it. Like, look at this image. You got 4 POSs in here against 1 man, and this one right here got his hand around his throat and has him pretty much yoked up against the wall. Like I said, this is just a picture. The video is way worse. Trust me when I say this. If you haven't seen it, don't try to go look for it. It's going to just get your blood boiling. I'm sure some of you, your blood is boiling just looking at this picture. The video is going to have you like literally almost erupt like a damn volcano. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is like a fantasy for them to put their hands on black people's bodies. Think about it. Like, a lot of times when black people be getting arrested by them, they go the extra mile when it comes to that. I think of Sandra Bland and pretty much how that cop pretty much tackled her. The young lady, the young black girl at the pool party a few years ago, who the cop sat on her back. And a host of other things, or putting, Derek Chauvin, that goes without question, putting his knee on on George Floyd's neck. Eric Garner, what happened with him, and so many other situations. You rarely, if you ever, have, let me rephrase that. Have you ever come across a story where this was in reverse, where you have one PC person, whether man or a woman, get yoked up on the wall by 4 or 5 black cops? Because I haven't seen it. And if it does exist, it either got buried into the news pile, or they scrubbed it. But I have yet to see something like that actually happen. But yeah, this imagery right here is just wild. The story is crazy as well. But I don't know what's going to happen to them. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if nothing happens to them, because this is just another day on the job for them. And I wouldn't be surprised if they've done this to other inmates. It's just that this time they got caught.